in a violent murder. A new mother who was stabbed at Clear Lake Park. The killer still, sadly, out there. And now Eyewitness News reporter Marla Carter has a timeline of what happened. She is now live with that. Marla?
Our investigators are still following up leads tonight. No arrests at this point, but investigators George knew her. Clear Lake Park is quiet and peaceful. But on Tuesday, the serene park was surrounded by crime scene tape.
Why would somebody do that to somebody? You know, it's crazy. We have crazy people out here.
25-year-old Ashley George's body was discovered on the jetty. She'd been stabbed multiple times. Her car was found abandoned nearby. Deputies say the night before, George told her parents she was going to meet a friend to work out. Then sometime after 10 p.m., surveillance video captured her vehicle coming into Clear Lake Park. 6 hours later, at 4:15 in the morning, her car was found abandoned. Deputies say there was blood on the handle and items in her purse were scattered, but nothing appeared missing. Her parents were contacted and they helped search for George. We spoke with her father on Tuesday. George's father, along with 2 deputies, found her body nearby at 6 a.m. that day.
I think it's a tragedy, really, but the fact of the matter is that we don't know who did it, and the fact that there was something that happened that was this violent is kind of disturbing.
Smith's co-worker went to school with George.
She said she was a nice young lady. They said she was a sweet girl. She just had a baby.
Investigators believe she knew the person who killed her.
I just hope they find the person that did it, you know, to bring closure to the family.
Now, we do not know the exact time that her car arrived in this park. Again, we know the park closed at 10 p.m. and it arrived sometime after 10 p.m. And again, her car was found at 4:15. So sometime in that time period, investigators really want to get additional information. So if you've seen anything or heard anything or know what happened.
First brought you yesterday, a man arrested in Texas for murder will be soon questioned by Winston County investigators for another homicide there. King talks with the Winston County Sheriff today. He joins us in the studio with more. Parker?
Joey, we've been following this story for months. The case we're referring to is the murder of Noxapater resident Carolyn Burnside. In an interview with her husband Daryl the week following her death, it seemed there was no way he could be considered a suspect. But 8 months later, he's the one who could be brought back for questioning. Take a look. It's been 8 months since the murder of Noxapater resident Carolyn Burnside, and no one has faced charges.
Obviously, in Mississippi, this is still an ongoing investigation.
But Sheriff Jason Pugh believes to have his culprit and says this was no random act of violence.
The murder here in Noxapater was we realized at the beginning was a complicated murder. It was a planned murder.
2 days after Carolyn Burnside's murder, I sat down with her husband, Daryl, who at the time appeared to be broken up over his loss.
I can't see that far into my life without her. I'm just trying to get through every minute.
That same grieving husband now sits in a Louisiana prison for the alleged killing of his girlfriend, Houston, Texas resident Ashley George.
It obviously has one common denominator in both of those deaths, and that common denominator is Mr. Daryl Burnside.
Multiple agencies participated in the investigations, leading to the arrest of Daryl Burnside.
We have had extraordinary assistance in our department from the Mississippi Highway Patrol Investigations Division, from the Louisiana State Police, from the Houston Police Department, and from the Texas Rangers.
Sheriff Pugh says now all that remains is to bring Daryl Burnside back to Winston County.
Obviously, Daryl has a lot of questions to answer in Houston, and we've got a few questions we would like to ask him ourselves, and we will be in contact with those guys. We've been working with them, like I say, since the end of April when Ashley's murder occurred, and we will continue to work with them till hopefully our murder here is resolved and our charges have been pressed in Mississippi also.
Sheriff Pugh says this case has taken more turns than most homicides do. There were some things that were set off record that we hope to bring you onto the record and onto this show as the investigation develops.